Yeah. Got stuff going on. I'm the Gnome.
This is Aggro.
And we're joined by our special guest.
Yoko.
Still here because we're talking about the Oscars. And this is sort of one of his big realms of nerdery is the motion picture, if you will.
Since I was so disappointed about the Golden Globes.
And he was mad at me for not being thorough enough with the Golden Globes. So we're going to go through this. We're just really delving into the Oscar nominations today. Next up is we got the animated feature film. And if you want to chime in, if you want to tell us what you're rooting for or what you want to win an Oscar, give us a call at 1-855-303-GEEK. That's 1-855-303-4335. Or hit us up in the twitch.tv chat. Twitch.tv, search for hashtag GSS MouthWash. This segment is brought to you by Clutch Gaming Arena up in Arvada. Is it Arvada? I think it's Arvada. Up in Arvada, Colorado. Check them out online. Check out their Facebook page. And I just want to dive right back into these Oscar nominations because I want to get them finished here shortly. We've got animated feature film. We've got The Croods, Despicable Me 2, Ernest and Celestine, Frozen, and The Wind Rises.
Frozen actually beat out The Lion King for the highest grossing Disney film recently.
I expect it to be Frozen because there's this whole hype around Frozen that isn't actually true, but people are super hyped on it.
What's the hype for it?
That it's sort of the first princess that sort of subverts the idea. The first Disney princess. Jesus.
They're kind of like reverting back to their old style of storytelling.
Mm. And there's this like whole thing that, the Frozen princesses are the first ones that don't need no man to save them, and they're the first ones to subvert the certain parts of the genre, which isn't true. Like you've got, they're the first ones to fight for themselves and the first ones to blah, blah, blah. But you've got like Mulan and
Tangled.
Pocahontas was fairly
the chick from Tangled. And
Brave.
And Magda? Is it Magda?
Merida.
From Brave, yeah. And so but there's this whole fandom hype thing building around Frozen. And so while I don't know that it necessarily deserves it, I expect Frozen to win that.
It's gonna win it. No doubt.
Yeah.
I actually like The Croods a fair amount.
I did also. I thought it was a really cool roller coaster ride type of movie.
The visuals were very interesting. I liked a lot of the creature and character design. It's the best Nicolas Cage movie I've ever seen. It's the only movie I've had with Nicolas Cage in it where I actually enjoyed him as a character. Not just saying,
Face Off was the best.
Not just saying, haha, it's Nicolas Cage. Like, actually enjoying him as an actor. I feel he actually is a much better voice actor than a actual actor.
I don't. My thing about Nicolas Cage is always the thing. Nicolas Cage is always the same. He's always the same level and has the same energy all the time. The problem with Nicolas Cage is you have to cast him in the right role for that energy.
He made
to
an
be correct.
excellent caveman. Yeah. He made an excellent caveman, which I thought was funny.
Basically. I'm just on the whole Nicolas Cage can be really good if you cast him right, and otherwise he's just the worst.
I would say I do not agree.
How'd I get burned?
I would say I do not agree with the Despicable Me 2 choice though.
Really? Why not?
Yeah. It's one of those movies that I thought there was some good parts that were actually thought were good, and an improvement over the first one.
Right.
The thing is, those good parts were actually passed by through a lot of people, passed over their heads. And while the Minion parts, I got really irritated, mostly because apparently that's the only thing that people were reacting on. And it just, for me, it just stalled the movie every time they would come in, and especially the ending, I just flipped my chair over at the theater because I just did not like the ending.
Okay, fair enough.
Not gonna spoil it. I haven't seen it yet. I still want to, just for the sake of critical analysis.
No, we won't spoil it, but we'd like to hear your thoughts on the ending of Despicable Me 2.
Actually, I haven't seen Frozen yet either. I need to go check that out in theaters.
There are so many movies that I still need to see. It's just a thing. It's always a thing. I just never feel like I have the time to really.
I just don't want to pay for a movie most of the time.
That's the other part of it. It's expensive to see movies, and I don't condone downloading. That's not a thing. So, the Wingman's Winging to me. I actually don't condone downloading movies. I don't condone downloading anything that I can actually just get by purchasing it. Mm-hmm. The only things I ever download are things that I literally can't get a hold of. Like, when I'm watching wrestling, I tend to download wrestling shows to watch them, as opposed to watching them live, because I can't always catch them live, and I don't really have access to cable right now. So
I wouldn't pay for cable.
Fair enough. We've actually got something that I'm super excited about to talk about as far as wrestling goes as well. So that's a thing. Once we're done with this, I'll tell you what that is. And moving right along, we're going to actress in a supporting role. So now we're getting into the sort of the big categories, the ones that people really get rabid about. For actress in a supporting role, we've got Sally Hawkins for Blue Jasmine, Jennifer Lawrence for American Hustle, Lupita Nyong'o for 12 Years a Slave, Julia Roberts for August Osage County, and June Squibb for Nebraska. I have no thoughts or opinions about this category.
Here, Lupita Nyong'o,
Mm-hmm.
she deserves the Oscar on this category.
Okay.
Definitely, it was one of the best performances I've seen this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be really mad if she doesn't get it.
Okay, fair enough. Absolutely. So moving on to actor in a supporting role.
Actually, just Wingman hopping in again. So I actually saw Osage County,
Mm-hmm.
and Sandra Bullock actually did an amazing job.
That's hard to believe, but
I know, right?
Wait,
No,
Sandra
it's
Bullock or
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts?
Oh yeah, sorry, that one. Julia
Yeah.
Roberts.
I'm like,
No,
I'm like Sandra Bullock.
No, Samsonite.
Really?
I was way off.
Really?
They're all the same person.
they kind of are.
I can believe
actually.
Julia Roberts doing a good job, but Sandra Bullock,
Yeah.
Did you see The
Well-
Blind Side, actually? Did you ever see The Blind Side?
no.
It
She was actually really
It
good.
was pretty good.
Okay.
No, she had another crushing role in this one. She did really well. She handled all the pressure of the role, and it felt like she was someone who was really in the situation of Osage County.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it,
Right,
but I'm just
right.
saying if she wins it, I'm okay with it. She
Fair
did
enough.
a great job.
Okay, fair enough. I want to move on to actor, because here I actually have an opinion on actor in a supporting role. Because the nominees are Barkhad Abdi for Captain Phillips, Bradley Cooper for American Hustle, Michael Fassbender for 12 Years a Slave, Jonah Hill for The Wolf of Wall Street, and Jared Leto for Dallas Buyers Club. Now, the only big movie that I've actually gotten around taking the time to sit down and watch was because it was on Christmas and I wanted to go see Anchorman 2 and they were all sold out. So I ended up seeing The Wolf of Wall Street.
Mm-hmm. Was it good?
It was really good. It had a sort of level of, it felt like Scarface in a lot of ways. It felt like Scarface Wall Street edition. Like, there was a lot of time spent on drugs and hookers. Like, a lot of time spent on drugs and hookers, which is just something that it was Scorsese, right? It was Scorsese.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just something Scorsese does in his films. He likes to spend a lot of time on the excess of the lifestyle before you get into the real fall. He really likes to delve into that world and that idea, and so it dragged at times. I mean, admittedly, there were tits on screen, so it wasn't that bad, but it still dragged in its storytelling a little bit because it dwelled a little bit too long on some of those things. So as a movie, I don't think it was the best movie of the year, but Jonah Hill was amazing in that film. His performance, like, you know what, since Moneyball, I've had a certain amount of respect for him as an actor, but he sort of just transformed himself into this, like, closeted, gay, incestuous, like, married his cousin guy, and it's absolutely fascinating. I don't even know, like, drug addict, crazy, just this manic, crazy, like, his introduction in the film is he just approaches Leonardo DiCaprio's character out of nowhere and says, "Hey, I see you driving a nice car, but we live in the same building. How do you drive such a nice car?" Okay, if you can show me a paycheck that says as much money as you say you're making, I'm going to follow you around and we'll be part of it. I'm going to do what you do. And I'm just, okay, sure. And that's how that went down. Like,
Okay.
and he ended up being like this business partner, and it worked amazingly well. He did an incredible job.
Yeah, I'm actually glad that Jonah Hill got nominated again. That he's getting some respect.
I really hope he wins this time because I thought he deserved it for Moneyball. Honestly, I think he did a great job in that film too.
But actually, I disagree with you.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, Jared Leto is the winner.
Really?
Yes.
Not Michael Fassbender, because I was expecting you to go to Fassbender just because Michael Fassbender is always amazing.
He was good, but Jared Leto, he actually does transform himself, being this kind of hooker, transvestite role.
Okay.
Who has AIDS.
Oh well. Okay.
And the thing is, all the things that he goes through in the movie, and especially after years of not really seeing him in the spotlight anymore, he really deserves a win, in my opinion. If a Dallas Buyers Club only goes out with only one win, this is the one that that movie should win.
Now, here's the thing. I have to point out, though, that we've also got Barkhad Abdi, who is an actual Somali. Like, if I'm not mistaken, Captain Phillips is the film about Somali pirates, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and he was an actual Somali pirate that was recruited, or former pirate or something like that, that was recruited to play this character in this film. And all accounts say that he did sort of an amazing and an unexpectedly good job.
Yeah, actually what happened is that I think it was in Minnesota, there was a casting call, and he was one of those guys that had just appeared in the casting.
He was like a Somali refugee. Yeah, right?
Yeah, but I'm not really sure if he was like...
I don't know if he was a pirate or not.
Yeah.
I just know that he was a
I'm
Somali...
a pirate.
But yeah, he blew everyone away. And even if you see the trailer of Captain Phillips, you could see that...
He did an amazing job. And it's just... I wonder, because sometimes the Oscars will give something out on story rather than actual technical merit. And I wonder if he's the sleeper here, if he'll just take it.
After this, we'll see what happens to his career.
That's actually a really real... Well, it's like, I mean, if you look at like Gabourey Sidibe, sort of came out of nowhere with Precious a few years ago. Won an Oscar and
yeah, she...
Or no, she didn't win, did she?
She just got nominated.
Yeah, she was just nominated, but it still like launched her career. She's on another show now, and
she has proved herself to be as good in other stuff also.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but that's a really strong supporting actor category right there.
But we're coming up on a break.
We've got. I think we got time for one more category. We got a couple minutes, right? One more category. So we also got next up is actress in a leading role. Of course, we got Amy Adams for American Hustle. Kate Blanchett for Blue Jasmine, Sandra Bullock for Gravity, Judi Dench for Philomena, and Meryl Streep for Osage County. Again, I don't have any heavy opinions except that I don't care how good she was. Gravity is a terrible premise and a terrible idea, so it shouldn't win anything ever. The physics of Gravity make me mad.
Okay, well, there's something called suspension of disbelief. I was able to suspend my disbelief in...
Indiana Jones and a refrigerator nuclear explosion. Do not accept your argument.
Okay, no, there's some things I said.
Okay, fair.
And the thing is that, let's face it, at least technically, Gravity was still a way better movie.
It was pretty. It was. It just...
I do agree that Sandra Bullock shouldn't have been nominated, because I don't think her performance was really that powerful.
Okay, fair enough.
But... In this category, I do think Kate Blanchett is gonna win it.
Okay.
Because she's been on every Oscar talk for at least 5 months already.
Fair enough. All right. And on that note, we're gonna head to a break. When we come back, we'll finish up with the Oscars, and I'll talk about some fun wrestling news that has come
wrestling
because I love me some wrestling, and this is actually very, very exciting to me. What we're going to talk about. So we'll be right back here on the Mouthwash. I'm the Gnome.
This is Aggro.
And we're joined by special guest
Yoko.
Thanks for joining us, Yoko. We'll be right back. Yes.
KGSS.
Mouthwash, bitches.
Check. 1 2 1 2. That sound good? All right, cool. Yo. I step on the scene looking like a saltine, fresher than a Krispy Kreme, brighter than your high beam. Just me and my team with our mugs on me. Nah, don't mind me, I'm just living my dream. I'm right where I wanna be, on the path that I gotta be. Naysayers don't bother me, they're just jealous of a prodigy. Bada bing, bada boom, welcome to the zoo. Over through your whole crew, cause we do music how you're supposed to. Frosty on the mic, DJ Devil on the text. It's like we're drunk driving, you know we're gonna wreck. We come from the land where railroads intersect, and people know life ain't all about a check. I'm looking for love like everyone else does. That's why I'm at the bar, maxing out my credit card, spitting rhymes, doing lines off the dash of my car.
Don't even know who we are, but we still act like stars.
If you're up in the spot looking extra fly, and a pretty little thing catches your eye, mini skirt with the heels looking mighty fine, you say ooh wee. If you're rolling in the whip, low pro wants a dub.
Yo, man, I really need a new jacket, but where do I go? If you want fresh new gear to show off your style, there's no better place to get it than Leather Direct. You need hats, jackets, clothing, and accessories, and Leather Direct has the connection for your authentic and licensed outerwear. With over 26 NFL teams available, you can't afford to not check out the local selection. Because whether it's NASCAR, NBA, or a classic Fonzie jacket, Leather Direct has a deal for you. There is something for everyone with a great selection of jackets in women and kids sizes. If your kids love Spider-Man, Batman, or just want to smash with the Hulk, they want this gear, and now you know where to find it. Don't wait another second, because the deals at Leather Direct fly off the racks, and you don't want to miss out on your one-of-a-kind jacket. Go to the Aurora Mall and visit Leather Direct, and when you mention Geek Street Society at the counter, you'll receive an additional 10% off. So whether it's Broncos, Bulls, Betty Boop, Jeff Gordon, or anything else, you can do the shopping yourself. Don't trust the middleman. It's time to check Leather Direct.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Heroes on a Half Show.
They're the world's most fearsome fighting team. We're really hip. They're heroes in
Mouthwash.
and they're green. Hey, get a grip.
7:30.
Tanks,
Mouthwash.
boys don't come
It's not about being original, it's about being a new adaptation.
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Let him do things.
Mouthwash.
GeekStreetSociety.com.
You're listening to Geek Street Society, specifically the Mouthwash. Welcome back from our brief hiatus. I am the gnome, and we're missing an Aggro. I think he's going to the
And
bathroom.
I'm Yoko, by the way.
Yes, that is Yoko. Thanks for joining us on this segment once again, Yoko, so we can get finished up with the Oscar.
Glad to be here.
With the Oscar nominations, sort of the big news of the day. Shout out to our new listener from Sweden, and if I mispronounce this, by the way, I sincerely apologize, but I'm going to do my best to not be offensive.
I did try to teach him, though.
It's Barayag Sophie? I think, or Barayag, or Baron Jaeger. I'm honestly not sure what. Give us a call if you want to talk to us at 1-855-303-GEEK. Correct my pronunciation. That's 1-855-303-4335. Don't forget you can check us out. Join us in that Twitch chat on twitch.tv. Search for hashtag GSS Mouthwash. Hanging out there all day long. And, excuse me. Yeah, I'm sorry, I have no idea how to pronounce that. I think that's painfully obvious. But check it out. This segment is brought to you by Level Up. Check them out on the internet, on Facebook. That is Level Up. Check them out. So I want to dive back into the Oscar nominations. I just want to finish them up because we only got a few. We really only got 3 categories, but they are sort of 3 of the biggest categories of the evening left to talk about. First one of those is actor in a leading role, and that's always one of a lot of contention. We're looking at Christian Bale for American Hustle, Bruce Dern for Nebraska, Leonardo DiCaprio for The Wolf of Wall Street, Chiwetel Ejiofor for 12 Years a Slave, and Matthew McConaughey for Dallas Buyers Club. Now, I know Matthew McConaughey won
The Golden Globes.
the Golden Globes, and I know...
Leo also won for the Golden Globes.
Oh, that's right, because it was separated categories.
Yeah, comedy and drama.
Comedy and drama. Here's the thing. Leonardo DiCaprio There's this whole thing on the internet about how Leonardo DiCaprio has never won an Oscar. And I can't decide whether I want him to win to get rid of that stupid meme or if I want him to lose so that it continues. Like, I can't...
You, sir, are disgraceful.
What? How is that disgraceful? I can't decide whether which I want to happen, because it is really funny. Just this whole Leo's never won an Oscar thing. Like, if you ever looked at Tickled or any of these sites that just post a bunch of memes, there's just this whole big thing about Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't win Oscars despite anything else going on. He just never wins.
And the thing is, like, he is one of the best actors.
Oh yeah, he's done a good job. Like, and he's been in some of the best movies. Like, he's done an amazing job in recent years. But he still managed to never win the Oscar, and I think that's really funny, if somewhat depressing for him.
Yeah, and really in this category, like, I would really love for him to see him win. Because really, he has it long overdue. Like last year, he was shunned. To tell you the truth, I really thought he should have won it for Django.
Okay, fair enough. But do they? I mean, they didn't want to recognize Django that hard, did they? Like, the Academy is pretty stodgy, right? Like, they're pretty buttoned down, and.
Well, I think that's why they're giving 12 Years a Slave a lot of nominations. Then that's what you're saying.
No. Well, like 12 Years a Slave is like Django Unchained clean edition, like
clean.
Well, like serious edition. You know what I mean? Like, it's not saying the N-words every 3 seconds just for the sake of saying the N-word every 3 seconds, and it's not
just for the sake, yeah.
And it's not mindless gun violence because it's Quentin Tarantino. Like, I mean, yeah, maybe, and that might be it. Like, I don't necessarily think that's why 12 Years a Slave is getting more attention, but. I mean, I gotta give a shout out to Chiwetel Ejiofor because he's always one of my favorite actors. He does an amazing job. I thought he was incredible in Red Belt. Like, I think he's done amazing work in a lot of films over the years, and he's sort of been he hasn't been recognized. And hopefully this film and the amount of attention this film is getting will sort of make people recognize how good he is, but as opposed to just sort of being on the fringe and like playing the villain in Serenity. Which is honestly where I first sort of ran into him and sort of fell in love with him as an actor. But I would be happy to see him win, and I know you'd be happy to see Matthew McConaughey win.
Well, actually, with Matthew McConaughey, I kind of think he might win, mostly because he won the Golden Globe.
Right.
But at the same time, his role in Dallas Buyers Club, although it is a good role, I will say he did act his tush out of it, And the thing is, the character itself, I just seen it in so many movies of that type.
Right.
But the thing is that this year, my favorite movie of the year was Mud. And I really think that movie got shunned out of the Oscars. Okay. It is a magnificent movie, and that was the role where I think Matthew McConaughey should have been nominated.
Okay.
And if that one was nominated, I would have definitely gone for him to win.
Wait, you're talking about Mud?
Mud. Yes, it came out like at the beginning of the year, I think April.
That's interesting. IMDb actually listed as a movie from 2012, but its release date is the 10th of May, 2013, which is weird.
Yeah, it came out in some small festival circuits.
Yeah, I remember when it came out on DVD because I was working for a major electronics retailer. We had a couple people come in looking for it, but I don't know anything about it really because it wasn't like wide released.
Yeah, but yeah, if anybody has a chance, give it a look. I will say it is a slow-paced film, but the story in it and the acting is just an amazing movie to watch.
Fair enough.
But yes, Chiwetel Ejiofor, I do think he might win it. Mostly because either because he did not win in the Golden Globes, or because the Oscars will give it to him because of the movie.
Okay.
But at the same time, he does deserve it. He really did an amazing job in 12 Years a Slave. I completely felt everything he was going through.
Right.
Especially through the end.
Okay.
And so, yeah, if any of those three if any of those three win, I would be happy.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm going to move us on to directing. We've got David O. Russell for American Hustle, Alfonso Cuarón for Gravity. We've got Alexander Payne for Nebraska, Steve McQueen for 12 Years a Slave, or Martin Scorsese for The Wolf of Wall Street. I'm going to right now immediately disqualify Martin Scorsese. The Wolf of Wall Street was not his best work. Like, directorially, it was not paced super well. Like I said, I had some issues with it, with the directing in that film. I think the acting was all spot on, and the story was interesting, but the adaptation probably dragged a little bit as well. I don't think the adaptation of Wolf of Wall Street was amazing. So I'm going to sort of disqualify Martin Scorsese in my brain.
Yeah, I think he was actually nominated because he's more of an Oscar darling.
Yeah, because he's Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
Like that. So, from what I've seen, though, the two films that really, I think, are going to be the two big ones for directing are going to be Gravity, no matter how much I hate it and think it shouldn't win anything, and Nebraska.
You shut your mouth.
I don't think it should win anything. I think that you have to make a film in which your premise is at all believable for me to even consider you for awards. I'm sorry. That's.
Oh, the Avengers was way too believable.
When Avengers didn't get any awards.
Well,
except for, technical ones.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, and the Avengers was brilliant for different reasons. If anything, the Avengers deserved to win on screenplay, on original screenplay grounds, because the original screenplay for the Avengers was freaking amazing. The dialogue was incredible in that movie. But that aside, sort of setting that aside, I think the other movie that, from what I've seen, deserves this is Nebraska, and that's just that sort of stark. That style of the film. It's very stylized, and it looks really good.
Yeah, and the thing is, the style of the directing is one of those that I would see the Oscar giving it an award.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is that type of movie. But, yeah, definitely it is narrowed down to Steve McQueen for 12 Years a Slave,
mm-hmm.
or Alfonso Cuarón Gravity. And I think the fact that that in the Golden Globes Alfonso Cuarón won, he will win it again.
That's entirely possible. I don't know.
And I do think it was beautifully shot and beautifully directed. I do have problems with the story and the acting on it.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the technical parts, that is completely something that should have been noticed, and it was for this year.
All right. So let's go. Finally, let's go to the Best Picture, sort of the big one, the end all be all of Oscars.
It's the Croods. The Croods win.
I that makes sense.
Best movie ever.
It wasn't that great. I'm not.
No. So let's look at it. We've got American Hustle, Captain Phillips, Dallas Buyers Club, Gravity, Her, Nebraska, Philomena, 12 Years a Slave, and The Wolf of Wall Street. 12 Years a Slave won the Golden Globe. I got to call it 12 Years a Slave here.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to win it.
There's arguments to be made for other films, but I'm pretty sure that it's just 12 Years a Slave, that it just takes it. They might just to give a shout out to American Hustle, they might give one of the awards to someone from that film, because it is supposed to be an amazing movie. And it's sort of, we going through our picks, we haven't even really touched on anything or anyone from American Hustle.
And it's from the Weinsteins.
Mm-hmm.
And usually Weinsteins, at least, possibly in the acting,
mm-hmm.
At least it will get one award.
Well, I mean, it might come down to David O. Russell. David O. Russell, it's a very stylized piece. It's very, sort of your glitz and glamour. It's a historic piece. It's a period piece. They might give a nod to David O. Russell for the directing on that. I think is a possibility.
There was actually another movie that I saw, Wingman signing on here,
mm-hmm.
and it was a very nice period piece. I think they captured the essence of the 70s very well, because that was the time period it was set in.
Right.
And all of the actors did an amazing job. It's not everyone's type of movie. It's not like the greatest movie ever made, but it is a good movie, and it is worth seeing. So,
okay.
It's definitely, let's see, Christian Bale, Bradley Cooper, and then, does anyone remember the female?
You're talking about Amy Adams and
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah,
that's right. And
I haven't seen
smashing
any of the
crew.
I haven't seen any of the movies on this list, so I'm just not partaking in the conversation.
Well, I mean, you've seen them in other movies. You know that they're good actors. So.
Yeah, but that doesn't really mean anything to me.
Yeah,
because you can have actors who are completely horrible in one movie and then amazing in another. It really depends on the direction and the movie itself. So I hopped in on the Croods because that's the one I've seen and mentioned that I need to see Despicable Me and Frozen. I've been kind of bad conversation for this topic.
Oh, that's all right.
Now going back to Best Picture, I will say I am surprised at 2 nominations. I did not expect. I wasn't expecting that The Wolf of Wall Street and either Dallas Buyers Club was going to be nominated.
Yeah, I didn't expect Wolf of Wall Street on that list either.
Because especially when it came out, the critics were actually that pleased with it.
Yeah, well, it sits at about a 75% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is low for this kind of nomination.
Yeah, and hearing the stories that apparently one of the critics actually told Martin Scorsese that he was ashamed of him.
Oh wow!
Stuff like that. I was actually surprised that this movie got nominated.
So to be fair, The Wolf of Wall Street is very sort of true to its source material, or at least that's how it feels. It feels like they do things like there are 3 kinds of hookers. There's the expensive ones. There's the expensive ones that are like 500 plus, and then you get the ones that are pretty nice but are only like 300. Then you got the cheap ones that are like 100, and we used all of them. Like there's little lines, and that feels like a line directly out of this guy's book. Like it doesn't feel like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the voiceover that Leo does on that film feels like it's just very faithful as an adaptation to the book. But I want to touch on this. I want to go from very good acting to somewhat mediocre acting and talk about wrestling for a little bit.
Somewhat mediocre?
It can be good. It can be.
Provide me an example.
When CM Punk at SummerSlam 2011, or in the lead up to Money in the Bank 2011, basically just sat down on the stage and gave an entire speech, like an entire just rundown of all of his grievances, and they gave him a live mic to do it.
Okay.
It was amazing. It was incredible. It's sort of like I believe that was 2011. It might have been 2010, but it was.
And then he proceeded to beat people with ladders in an attempt to get money out of it.
Actually, he won. He wasn't in the Money in the Bank match. He was in the title match. He won the match, and there was this whole thing where they weren't sure whether he was going to have a contract. Like he was leaving the company, and he won the match and walked out with the title, and nobody knew whether he was with the company anymore. And it was absolutely incredible, and it was amazingly well done. I mean, by that point, it was back to being a full work, which is sort of the wrestling term for fake or inside kayfabe, which is wrestling continuity. But by the end of that storyline, it was. But there was a point in which nobody really knew what was going to happen with CM Punk.
Okay.
And so wrestling has done some really interesting things lately. But when we get back, we'll be talking about the WWE Network and how that panned out. We talked about it a little bit when it came up in the news, but there was a press conference at CES that we haven't touched on yet. That is absolutely incredible. And we'll be talking about it when we get back. Yes,
Alrighty.
yes.
KGSS.
I'm the Gnome.
This is Aggro.
And we'll be right back. Woo. Mouthwash.
Well, I'm a starving artist, guaranteed my rap's the hardest. I'm automatic, any place, anytime, regardless. When we vibe, we come alive with built-up aggression. You can feel the tension start stretching like an Achilles tendon. Well, I was struck, no, I was hooked like a bad addiction. The only time I wasn't thinking about my cash or women. The way I'm living, I was down and depressed. But cats were jumping on the stage, trying to push out the stress. Yes, go big or go home, we leave it all on the microphone. We starving artists, man, we just happy the lights is on. Trying to share my passion before all of my soul's gone. Seems that we all chasing gold like leprechauns. Exercise my thoughts and running a marathon. Raw knuckle style when I'm feeling the record song. A poor man's riches, love, hating music. I might check and leave the beat drenched in blood and sweat.
Right now, you're hungry. I can see it all over your face. There's only one place to go fix the legendary hunger you're feeling, and it's Legends of Aurora Sports Grill. The smell of crunchy calzones, hand-tossed crispy pizza, buttery garlic bread paired with signature spaghetti sauce and meatballs, and it's all better than Nana used to make. With everyday specials, Legends of Aurora Sports Grill can cure that legendary hunger. Conveniently located on East Iliff, just off of 225 in Aurora. Come down for ladies' night every Thursday or karaoke on Saturday night. Legend of Aurora Sports Grill. Legendary.
I
find your lack of faith disturbing.
Inform Lord Vader we have a prisoner.
Since you are reluctant to provide us with the location of the rebel base, I have chosen to test this station's destructive power on your home planet of
Geek Street Society Radio.
Where is the rebel base?
I can hold it. Come on! No!
Continue with the operation. You may fire when ready.
What?
You're far too trusty.
GeekStreetSociety.com.
I want more clothes to put on. I need more clothes.
Let's go to Goodwill. I need to cover my shame.
I'm the gnome. This is MouthWash. I'm Fasa.
I'm Aggro.
And I'm the gnome. Legendary. Here on the MouthWash. 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 But you didn't hold it.
All up in that cortex. All up in y'all's brain.
Is there such thing as psychological assault? Because that just happened.
I'm pretty sure that there is such a thing.
Here on the MouthWash.
You're listening to the Mouthwash on Geek Street Society.
It's true. We're here.
I'm the gnome.
This is Aggro.
Welcome back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's it. It's just the two of us today.
Thanks for imagining us again.
Thanks to Yoko for joining us for the last couple segments. Talk to us about movies and sitch.
He gave us a thumbs up. It was like this.
It was like a 2 thumbs up, just Yeah. Anyway, so I teased it a little bit before the break. We're going to talk a little bit about wrestling because there was a big announcement at the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas. It was in Vegas, right? Yeah, whatever. At CES, there was a big announcement regarding the WWE Network, which is something that a lot of people have been very skeptical of, including myself. Honestly, there was a podcast I listened to that was talking about, that was convinced that Vince McMahon had gotten massive loans for the WWE Network and was just going to pile money in a hot air balloon and fly away, cackling. Woo! Because pretty much. No, Vince McMahon, not Ed McMahon.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Sorry.
That's how I would laugh.
But there was a big announcement at the Consumer Electronics Show, and what it comes down to is the WWE Network is going to be sort of a streaming service. It'll be a constantly streaming channel with on-demand streaming availability like Netflix that has, old pay-per-views, old episodes of shows, and as it goes up, at some point it will have Raw and SmackDown and stuff. But the big announcement, the one that people weren't expecting, was that for $9.99 a month and a 6-month commitment, so you have to commit to pay, like at least pay for 6 months, you actually get all of the pay-per-views ever as they come out. So there are 12 pay-per-views a year for wrestling. For WWE, and you get to live stream the pay-per-views for $10 a month. That's insane. The first pay-per-view that is going to be live on this network is WrestleMania. WrestleMania is normally like $60 through pay-per-view. You'll be able to get it for $10 streaming, and you'll be able to get every pay-per-view every year, essentially for $10 a month. If you aren't using it for anything else other than that, it's a huge value. Like, that's big. I'm super excited about it. I don't get to see a lot of pay-per-views unless I steal them, which I don't like to do. And now I really am just excited to do this. I'm excited. They'll be able to be streamed through Xbox 360 and PS3 and PS4. So I'm just probably when this releases, I'm just gonna start it and just start watching wrestling in studio like a lot. That's just a thing that's going to happen. Just watching old pay-per-views. I will give Fasa and Aggro an education beyond an angry Irishman with a ladder.
Hey, Sheamus is the only thing I found appealing about wrestling so far.
Fair enough.
Because he's an enormous red-headed guy that hits people with ladders, and that's entertaining enough for me.
That's fair enough. But yeah, shout out to the WWE for doing something theoretically right, assuming they don't have ridiculous server issues like everything does when it first launches.
Because they're like, yeah, we can handle it, and then they don't really understand how taxing it is on a server.
Yeah. Oh god, they do actually have help. They have an outside company coming in to help them out. And this segment, I would like to say, is brought to you by Rackham Billiards Sports Bar, located out here in Aurora, Colorado.
I know the Chain Clouds and that the Kellyanne Dreddy like to go there pretty frequently.
Yeah. Check him out, Rackham Billiards in Aurora, Colorado. So I want to move on. I just wanted to mention that little piece of news because it's super exciting to me personally. But today is Thursday, which means we do have the Master Control later tonight, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Mountain Time.
Expect a little cameo from me on there.
Are you hanging out? Going to be on the Master Control?
In a way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll get a little cameo from Aggro on the Master Control. That's the thing. Oh, right, that thing. Anyway, so that'll be a lot of fun. Check it out with Ace, Fee, and the Stash later tonight. So I want to talk a little bit of sci-fi fantasy. So we're coming into a big year as far as...
I think that's barely true to say.
As far as media, science fiction, fantasy, sort of all of the above go. So what are you looking forward to and as far as sci-fi fantasy?
I mean, I know we've talked about comic movies a lot.
Yeah, we have.
And aside from that, I'm going to pull up a list. Can you fill some time while I bring up a list
absolutely.
of movies that are coming out so I can actually, reference what I'm excited about?
So for me, some of the big stuff that I'm looking forward to as far as science fiction and fantasy, I've talked about it before. It's one of my favorite book series. We've got, inevitably, we will get a new book in the Dresden Files, which, because he comes out with one about once a year. It might be every other year, and he came out with one sort of early in 2013. So hopefully we'll get one maybe mid to late 2014. We'll get a new Dresden Files book, which if you haven't read the Dresden Files, do. They're quick reads. They're about noir wizard shenanigans.
Okay. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, actually, we have Devil's Due coming out, which I'm not necessarily excited about because I think it's going to be great. It's just another horror movie.
Right.
And me and Fasa are going to try to go see that.
Oh, and there's also...
I've gotten him kind of into horror films now, which makes me proud.
There's like 2 or 3 things coming out this weekend, this Friday, that I'm interested in. I'm actually going to pull up that list real quick. We've got, I believe, I, Frankenstein is...
It's coming out on the 24th.
It's coming out on the 24th.
Which I'm not really excited about at all, as much as I like Aaron Eckhart. It just looks like this year's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
See, I'm really interested to see that film because it looks more like Dylan Dog to me.
Yeah.
And I actually really liked Dylan Dog. I realize I'm like the only one.
I kind of liked it. It was all right. I have an amount of appreciation for this sort of, movies that don't take themselves too seriously but are trying to be that sort of like fantasy type movie. So I believe that I, Frankenstein could be interesting. The trailers just make it look generic and bad to me.
Okay, fair enough.
Then again, there have been other movies that I really liked which were victims of bad marketing. Like Gamer with what's his name?
That was Gerard.
With Gerard Butler?
Yeah.
The trailers made it look like a giant steaming pile of shit. And then I went and saw the movie, and I was actually very impressed.
Really? Because I didn't see it in large part because of the trailer.
Yeah, the trailers made it look like a generic, crappy action film, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't that at all.
Okay, fair enough.
So I would actually recommend seeing Gamer. It was actually really interesting. I really liked the bad guy. It was more of a social commentary.
Right.
It was a social commentary on the internet, and social interaction on the internet.
Okay, fair enough.
Because there's this whole other side of the movie that they don't even reference in the trailer that actually makes up a significant part of the movie.
Okay.
So that was it. Something more sci-fi related that I'm more excited about, other than I, Frankenstein, is definitely RoboCop, which comes out on the 12th of February.
Oh, the 14th. Yeah.
Yeah.
That I'm excited for RoboCop. I think before that though, I'm really excited for the Lego movie.
It looks interesting.
It looks
for sure.
Absolutely fascinating. I don't know how good it will be, but I'm super excited. And yeah, I will be very happy as long as someone says, "I'll buy that for $1." That's all I want out of RoboCop is "I'll buy that for $1." Like every 3 seconds. That's all.
It's probably going to be Michael Keaton. He's going to see the new model of the RoboCop or whatever and be like, yeah, I'd buy that for $1. It's just
probably.
It's probably a little snarky line they'll sneak in
be
there.
So good.
And if they don't do that, we're all going to be really disappointed and boycott the movie.
I don't think we're gonna boycott the movie if they
Later in March, we have 300 Rise of an Empire coming out, and that's another movie I don't expect to be good, but might see just for the entertainment value.
I'm much more interested in Mr. Peabody and Sherman, which comes out the same weekend, because I'm a big like an old school Rocky and Bullwinkle fan, and Mr. Peabody, it's like their time traveling dog and boy, like dog genius and boy companion, which
I actually don't know enough about that series to really be interested in it.
I mean, that's fair.
I'm not saying it won't be good. I'm just saying I don't have a launching point to be excited about it.
I don't expect it to be good.
Because I didn't grow up around it.
I don't expect it to be good. I expect it to be ridiculous.
Okay.
Like, I don't expect it to be good. Trust me.
Okay. I'll take your advice on that.
It makes me sad, but and of course later in March we get The Muppets Most Wanted, which
yeah,
I think is probably the movie that we are most looking forward to.
Did you ever see Rio? Like the
I
bird
did
movie?
not.
It was okay. The second one is coming out.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. I tend to see a lot of kids movies because I have younger siblings.
No. What about?
And that I also am interested in animation.
Okay.
So.
Now, what about Divergent? Divergent is based on a series of books, like young adult books. It's sort of in the same vein. It's sort of this post-apocalyptic world where, people are trained to, are picked out to do certain jobs, and the main character sort of bucks the trend, and it's sort of just this post-apocalyptic.
So it's kind of like The Giver,
but more violent. Yeah, I think. Don't forget, you can participate.
That's right. Referencing science fiction books you were forced to read in elementary school or junior high and chose not to really remember, but I did.
The Giver
it
was
actually
amazing.
good. It was good. When you go back and realize that the books they were forcing you to read were actually worth reading as an adult.
And for the record, Sophie, I expect RoboCop to be better than Dredd, because Dredd was Dredd.
I actually liked the Dredd movie. I thought it was a decent action movie.
Maybe it might be all right, but
maybe it's just from my man crush on Carl Urban.
That's entirely possible. But
it had some really cool. It had some really pretty special effects shots, which from my hate of Avatar, you would think I don't have any appreciation for, but I actually thought it had some really good.
Right.
It was a good action movie. I'm not saying it was well written or deep or anything, but it fulfilled what I thought it was out to do, which was just to be, let's have Dredd in a building full of criminals and just have him kill all of them and be the law. And he did that. The movie was exactly what I expected it to be, and I wasn't disappointed.
I mean, that's fair. But our chat says, by the way, that Divergent was an amazing book series, and so I'm interested to see. I keep looking at Divergent like on the shelf in like Walmart or whatever, and trying to decide whether or not I want to buy it, and I keep not buying it, but maybe I should actually get myself around to reading it. Of course, you got Winter Soldier. We've talked that to death.
Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's also in there with science fiction and fantasy because it's a comic movie. We're not really going to talk about it too much because we've already talked about it a lot. So we're trying to... I'm excited for Godzilla. I'm actually really excited for Godzilla.
Yeah,
I haven't seen too much for it, but it doesn't really matter what I see for it because I'm always going to be excited about a Godzilla movie.
Right.
I'm a fanboy for that. And
Makes
I really
sense.
hope that in addition to it feeding my fanboyism, that it's a legitimately good Godzilla film. I think with the success of Pacific Rim, I would like to see this do really well so I can get more giant monster movies. I want the next few years to just be filled with giant monster movies.
I mean, that would be awesome if Pacific Rim sort of started that. I want to move on.
And then X-Men: Days of Future Past.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm not going to forget about it. Just not going to talk about it.
Tom Cruise is in yet another random sci-fi movie that'll probably be bad. Like, Tom Cruise, I don't know why Tom Cruise keeps trying to, like...
Oh, yeah, Edge of Tomorrow. I saw the trailer for it and was not really interested.
It looks weird. It's like when he dies, he goes back to a certain point in his life and gets to relive with memories of...
And there's somebody else that trains him, so he keeps on trying to... It's like he's in a video game on Legendary mode, and he can't beat a level,
And he just keeps restarting.
And you just restart and learn where the monsters are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what it is. I'm pretty sure somebody was stuck on a level in Halo and said, I could make a movie about this. We could put Tom Cruise in it. You know, from watching the trailer, that's all it seems to be to me. You know, man, I finally figured out how to beat this level. What if that process could be turned into a movie? Oh, it's like, I feel like we should mention Transformers 4.
I was actually going to mention both Transformers 4 and How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Okay, cool. We're both sort of simultaneously scrolling through lists of movies that are coming out because we don't know all the movies that are coming out or remember them or exactly their dates. But in June, you know, that's when Transformers is going to come out.
Yeah, and the same with How to Train a Dragon 2. Of course, we've got in sci-fi and fantasy, we've got Fast and Furious 7 because they're going to have to CGI in Paul Walker.
Yeah, they're just going to Tupac him.
They're just gonna make a hologram of Paul Walker, but that's scheduled for July 11th.
Look, he's walking around. Too soon.
People.
I don't care.
We're bad people.
I'm aggro.
We're just the worst. We're terrible.
Also in July, we're getting Dawn of the Planet of the Apes,
which should be interesting. Gary Oldman.
I didn't see the last one.
Neither did I. I never got around to it. I never saw it.
Yoko's really mad at us.
Yoko's mad at us now.
Was it good? It was really good.
Okay, Yoko says it was good, and apparently he's going to bring it for us to see.
Okay.
So we can see
that. We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Planes, Fire, and Rescue, because that's a necessary thing.
I heard that it did a good job of separating itself from the Cars series, but that it's still just a spin-off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Pixar has a hard time doing anything poorly. I can admit that.
Mm-hmm.
I just was never a fan of the Cars franchise.
Cars is the worst one.
It just didn't appeal to me because I'm not a 7-year-old boy. So, Planes obviously didn't really have much value for me either.
We've got another sci-fi Wachowski. It's Wachowski brother, or just an Andy Wachowski and Lana Wachowski film, Jupiter Ascending, which I don't really know anything about. I haven't heard much about it, but it's very sci-fi in plot. It's got
I remember watching a trailer for that. It looks very much like the sort of.
It's got Sean Bean, so he'll probably be dead.
Yeah,
by the
it's
end of the movie.
Same kind of movie to me that seems. What was that movie that came out and didn't do very well that Disney put out, the science fiction one?
John Carter?
John Carter. It looks like a sort of John Carter-esque movie.
Oh, fair enough.
And just sort of style, and it's apparently part of a trilogy.
Okay. Well,
it looks interesting to me. I'd like to see it. And then we've got the 2 different Hercules movies coming out in the same year.
One with Dwayne Johnson and one without.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll love the one with Dwayne Johnson.
I still like that none of them call him Heracles.
Well, yeah, because nobody knows the name Heracles, even if they use Greek gods for the rest of it. Then we've got Guardians of the Galaxy, of course, which we've talked to death, and 50 Shades of Grey, which is fantasy because women think that that's a good relationship.
Yeah, or that's what good sex is. It was a pretty tame.
Yeah. Anyway, so we'll be right back. I won't be, though, sadly. I have to go to work. I'm the gnome.
This is Aggro. I'll probably go on for another segment or 2 afterwards. I'm not feeling super great right now, so I might try to cut the show a little bit short. Hence my longer bathroom break earlier. I'm just going to be honest with you guys.
That's more than I needed to know.
Yeah.
And I suspect more than they did, too. Thanks for joining us.
I didn't go into detail. I just said I wasn't feeling too great, so I sat on the toilet and recovered for a little while. I just took a break.
Anyway, Aggro will be back for a little while. Hopefully, he'll be joined by someone in the booth to help him out going through all these sci-fi and fantasy movies. I have to go. This is Gnome signing off. Yes.
KGSS.
You're listening to the Mouthwash.
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Red and white, gun star green. Come on, place the wager and live it up, oh. Last soul of the river card is you. Strike gold, it's never enough, oh. Last soul of the river card. Just know you can't disregard, oh. Last soul of the river card. Dig your hole, place your bets, pick your toe, face your death. Some start with everything. start with nothing but that to disregard as the card deck shuffling, start the bet and wish the best of fighting Russian roulette with the cousin of death. It's coming, the neck stronger than noose, only trusting God's hand, begging for redemption. When they flouse the chances, the diamond sparkles the heart in the grace of dirt. The bludgeoning of clubs can put the spades to work. Takes the nerve of the poker face to see the win funny. The cards are the holders of fate, deceiving in as they embrace the deep end they found. Misery placed like the cards face down in Schitt's Creek. His money talks, he wants me to play. His money walks, he wants me to stay. Oh, come on, place the wager and live it up. Oh, last soul of the river card is you. Strike gold, it's never enough. Oh, last soul of the river card. Just know you can't disregard. Oh, last soul of the river card. Dig your hole, place your bets, pick your toe, face your sin. Life like the deck of cards you dealt. It's hard to tell how they could have brought the veil. Locked in a cell, it's a sleeveless tricks are only deceived themselves as he tried to achieve his picture of leisure and riches. All fun and no games, pulling the trigger as they hold the gun to your name, dead and toe. One and the same, a deadly excursion. The longer the wait, the heavier the burden is. You steady the courage within the sight of pressure. You're only getting by with slivers when you're living by the river. Best to recognize the better and accept the modest. There's no tricks for death, we're sent to like your pockets. His money talks, she wants me to play. His money walks, she wants me to stay. Oh, come on, place the wager and live it up. Oh, last soul of the river card is you. Strike gold, it's never enough. Oh, last soul of the river card. Just know you can't disregard. Oh, last soul of the river card. Dig your hole, place your bets, pick your toe, face your death.
Yo, man, I really need a new jacket, but where do I go? If you want fresh new gear to show off your style, there's no better place to get it than Leather Direct. You need hats, jackets, clothing, and accessories, and Leather Direct has the connection for your authentic and licensed outerwear. With over 26 NFL teams available, you can't afford to not check out the local selection. Because whether it's NASCAR, NBA, or a classic Fonzie jacket, Leather Direct has a deal for you. There is something for everyone with a great selection of jackets in women and kids sizes. If your kids love Spider-Man, Batman, or just want to smash with the Hulk, they want this gear, and now you know where to find it. Don't wait another second, because the deals at Leather Direct fly off the racks, and you don't want to miss out on your one-of-a-kind jacket. Go to the Aurora Mall and visit Leather Direct, and when you mention Geek Street Society at the counter, you'll receive an additional 10% off. So whether it's Broncos, Bulls, Betty Boop, Jeff Gordon, or anything else, you can do the shopping yourself. Don't trust the middleman. It's time to check Leather Direct.
Can the Dolphin just be a new Batman villain?
I'll stop you, Batman. Hey, Green Arrow, you gonna do some Green Arrow stuff? You know what? You think you're better than me? With your hair and your pants. Smacky the sidekick. I can shoot it right off your head.
And his new suit, mouthwash.
That's mouthwash. I would have done it, but, you know. You, Batman. Looking at you.
And his new suit is the mouthwash.
Some next level shit. Just one Spreck in the geek. That's mouthwash. That's mouthwash.
It's true, we exist. In your imagination. Welcome back to the Mouthwash. This is Aggro. Gnome had to leave.
Oh, no, wait. I'm
he changed his ethnicity on us.
Now, I'm the Mexican gnome.
Yep. El Gnome. And then Fasa isn't feeling too great. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I just wasn't feeling very great earlier in the show. But
why not? What happened?
I don't know. I think I woke up with a little bit of a sore throat, and then being a little bit tired. I guess the combination. Still not feeling like amazing, but I'm not feeling terrible.
You should stop going to those clubs that you usually do.
I don't really go clubbing that often. I went to a drag queen bar last night, though. But that's just because I like the performances and playing bingo, and the burgers are really good.
Yeah, that's what everybody says.
I don't hide. I was tagged in a post on Facebook. Go check it.
Well, so what's up? Where did Gnome left off?
Mm-hmm. We were talking about movies, and I think we were in August. We were just sort of working up the year.
Where were we? Let's see. So
So if you bring up the tab on the tablet, I had a tab.
Where exactly?
Just swipe along the bottom, and then like from the actual bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is.
There you go.
You said August, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It should be there. You know.
Yeah.
We stopped on Guardians of the Galaxy, and then on the 8th we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out, which I don't think anybody's really excited for because we don't know if it's going to be good or not.
Yeah, that's the
Wingman's saying he's excited. Are you really excited though? Oh, he'll be disappointed. So he's hopping on the hype train, knowing that
it will be a
sad.
guarantee that he will be disappointed.
Megan Fox is playing April O'Neil. Like, there's no chance it's going to be good.
Yeah, that's the thing. We got to remember that this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is the live action movie by Michael Bay. So yeah,
it's actually being directed by Jonathan Lieberman, whatever that is.
Oh yeah, it moved from because I remember he was gonna.
I'm sure Michael Bay's involved. I just don't really
maybe
know.
he stayed as a producer, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, later on, I see that on August the 15th will be The Expendables 3.
Did you see? I watched the first and second one. What did you think about the Expendables series?
I really think they're okay. I think having that cast and having that premise, there could have been so much stuff that could have been done with that, but I think they went on a route that just wasn't as good, really.
Yeah, I don't know. The movies just seem like they're trying to stay old action movies too much.
Yeah,
I don't know, you know, that sort of 80s and 90s action movie. Mm-hmm. It seems like they're trying to be that movie as opposed to a more modern action movie.
And the thing is that
I'm kind of suffering for it.
I'm actually a sucker for that, though.
I mean, I like old 90s action movies. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger movies are some of my favorite movies ever. But that's not because they're good. It's because they're entertaining.
Well,
you know, and how corny and bad they are sometimes, and then you just have over-the-top explosions and ridiculousness. But I feel like when you have a bunch of older actors, I don't know, I feel like the movies are they're either taking themselves too seriously or they're not taking themselves
not that seriously
enough. You know, they either need to be completely parroting the fact that they're old and they're doing action movies.
The thing is that
or they need to actually make a good, serious action movie.
They're doing that exactly. They're parodying themselves and what they used to do. The thing is that they're not doing it good.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Yeah,
doing it well enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hopping into the Twitch chat. Sorry, that's why I was kind of distracted.
But yeah, like, I'll give it another shot. Mostly because, hey, I like to watch movies and I try to go to everything that I can, right? But yeah, I'll give it another shot, and especially because Nicolas Cage is coming in this time, I think.
Really?
And I think he's going to be a villain this time.
He better be.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. We've also got Jackie Chan on this one, and Wesley Snipes.
Oh, they did get him.
And Wesley Snipes is going to be there, too. I just want Wesley Snipes to play his character from Demolition Man, because I love Demolition Man.
Yeah, I would be down. Especially because we have not seen Wesley Snipes in forever.
Yeah, it's fairly true.
I wonder if he still knows how to...
Mel Gibson's in the movie, too. You know that, right? He's playing the bad guy.
I heard that he was good. He was in and out. I just wasn't really sure if he actually stayed.
No, he's staying. He's playing Conrad Stonebanks.
Bruce Willis is not in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think this time.
I don't think so. I don't see him on the immediate cast.
Yeah,
I'll look at the more.
That's
cast.
something I remember hearing that.
Apparently, Harrison Ford and Mila Djokovic are going to be there too. Okay, let me read through some of the names on this list because it's crazy how many people they managed to get in these crappy films. I mean, they're entertaining, but they're not good. Okay. I have 3 ratings for movies. There's bad movies, which are bad. There's good movies, which are actually good movies. You know, they're written well, they're acted well, they're actually a good movie. And then there's entertaining movies, and entertaining movies can be either of the other two. They can be a good movie that's also just really entertaining and fun to watch, or a bad movie that's entertaining because it's so bad. And Expendables is just an entertaining movie. It's not entertaining because it's completely terrible, but it's neither really great or terrible. It's just entertaining because of the action and the people involved.
Usually, especially like the second one, I watched it mostly because I was led into it for my friends because my friends actually loved the first one. So I was like, okay, I'll go just because.
But as far as new cast coming into the Expendables, we definitely have Nicolas Cage, we have Jackie Chan, Wesley Snipes, Mila Jovovich, whatever, Harrison Ford, Antonio Banderas, Victor Ortiz, and Ronda Rousey.
Who else is there to be on the fourth one?
Oh, Bruce Willis is apparently going to be there too. So he's coming back as Church. And then Kellen Lutz. I don't know who Kellen Lutz is. Let me look that up.
I think he was the Hercules in the one that just came out last week.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's what just came out.
I did not hear any good stuff from it, though. So, yeah, there's that one. And then the next week would be Sin City, A Dame to Kill For.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually kind of excited for that. I actually really liked the Sin City movie.
Yeah, I loved the first Sin City movie. I think it's such a great achievement, that movie.
I really liked that movie as well.
What's up?
Well, for me, the favorite parts of the movie, Wingman was asking what our favorite parts were, and I don't think Yoko could hear him that well. But I think my favorite parts were definitely the ones with Bruce Willis. I think his story arc was my favorite to watch. You know, his sort of detective with his monologue.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Being violent and trying to save the girl. And
mine was definitely really Mickey Rourke's character.
Mickey Rourke, yeah.
He was definitely my favorite character in the whole
meathead.
movie. Yes. He was exactly what I thought that movie encompassed. It's dark comedy in it and all that stuff.
He was funny, and I liked his story. I guess I'm just a sucker for Bruce Willis.
No, and the thing is, like, he did do a good job, and I really like how his story ends.
Yeah, I liked Elijah Wood's character as well.
Yeah,
it was entertaining, and of course, the style of the movie. The style of the movie was fantastic. I really loved.
It's shot so beautifully, and it's really artistic in how it's shot and all that. The thing is, now with Robert Rodriguez, how he's been doing movies. Now, I'm kind of nervous for this second one though, because he really hasn't done really a good one. Like you could see it from Machete Kills.
But aren't those movies sort of made to be bad?
Yeah, but the thing is that there's supposed to be the bad good movie, but they're just pretty bad.
They're just bad.
They might have like 1-2 instances that are good because they still have some of the humor that Robert Rodriguez brings in. But still, it's just...
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. And that's why I'm kind of nervous for the second one. But hopefully this is his comeback.
And then we got another Resident Evil 6 coming out in September 12th. And can I put it on the line that I actually don't like the Resident Evil movies at all?
I
think they're pretty awful on a whole.
I dropped out of second. After the second one, because I'm one of the few who actually like the second one.
I've seen all of them. I just don't like any of them.
I've seen them too, but the first and second one I actually did like them. The third one I was, and then after that I just did not like him at all.
Yeah, I just feel like they're just, those movies that keep getting sequels and each one is just lower and lower quality.
Yeah, and
I really feel like that's what the Resident Evil series is like.
And it will be as long as it will keep on getting more and more money.
Yeah.
Because each movie makes more money than the past one, so.
I wish that it would just make movies based on the games. It would be a lot better. I want to...
Instead of just the characters of the games instead?
Yeah, even though Alice isn't really... She hasn't been around in the games for a long time.
Well, Alice is not a game character.
I think wasn't Alice the computer in the game? I don't remember. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna verify it.
No, Paul W.S. Anderson created the character for the first movie in the specific. That way, so
Okay.
apparently for us to enter and all that stuff, to be the surrogate.
Okay, that's good.
And on Halloween, guess what movie's gonna come out?
What movie's coming out on Halloween?
It's a franchise, horror, ghosts, which is kind of ridiculous right now, and it's been coming out for years.
Paranormal Activity 5.
Yes, the actual 5th chapter to Paranormal Activity franchise.
Do we need another one?
Well,
Do we?
did we need
Do
the
we
second
really?
one?
I don't think we did.
Apparently, Wingman really likes that.
The second one
franchise.
was good. No, the second one was
he
the
says
best
that
one.
he loves it with all his might. I can see his faces right here.
Yeah. I want to mention the Box Trolls.
The Box Trolls?
Yeah, it's a animated movie that's coming out, and it looks really cool.
I think I did hear something about it. I'm just not really sure.
I would recommend looking it up. It's got a pretty good cast too. You know, we have Simon Pegg in it, Ben Kingsley.
Oh yeah, I'm in.
L.A. Fanning. You know, Nick Frost is there too.
Yeah,
so both
I'm definitely
Nick
in.
Frost and Simon Pegg, and Tracy Morgan's there too.
Tracy Morgan.
It's definitely a kids movie, but it's about a orphan boy who's raised by creatures called box trolls, and it looks pretty cool. It's a stop motion feature, and of course that's always appealing to me.
Yeah, and I do like I do want it to keep on going, the whole stop motion thing.
Mhm. I'm fairly certain it's made by the same people who did Paranorman. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, actually,
I really liked Paranorman.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. So if you like that one, go check out Box Trolls. It's coming out in September, at the end of September.
Cool.
So yeah.
And after the whole Paranormal Activity thing, if you want your palate cleansed, Interstellar is coming out in November.
I really don't know too much about that. What's that about?
Well, it's really vague. It's kind of a lot with Inception, where it just all the promotion on it, and they just weren't giving enough to actually know us, to actually letting us know what the movie's about.
Okay.
It's just
yeah, I'm reading the storyline description on Movie Insider, and it's still very vague.
Yeah.
It's directed by Christopher Nolan, though, and has Michael Caine in it, which makes me interested.
And Matthew McConaughey as the star.
Master Wine. Master Wine. Going to a black hole, Master Wine. Matthew McConaughey.
And I bet Morgan Freeman, is in it also, no?
Yeah, probably. Just space, the final frontier.
But yeah, Matthew McConaughey is in it. I'm in it.
I don't. Why do you like Matthew McConaughey so much?
Is that out of nowhere? He went to the woods. He kind of like retired of acting for a little while. He went to the woods, practices karate. Practice with all the trees there, chopping wood and all that stuff, carrying buckets of water and all that. And then came back, like 2 years ago, out of nowhere, he became this wonderful actor.
Okay.
There's this movie called Killer Joe.
Uh-huh.
He's basically the villain in it. And oh my God, have I ever been more intimidated and more interesting to watch Matthew McConaughey in.
You have to bring that in so I can watch it then, because I like being proved wrong. But
I
Matthew
will.
McConaughey and everything else I've seen is just Matthew McConaughey.
And the thing now is that he still has that whole Texan character.
Uh-huh.
But now he's actually proving that he could do a lot with it, though.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right.
checklist there.
For you comedy buffs, there's a Dumb and Dumber 2 coming out, which has both Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels in it.
I don't know what to feel about that one, I gotta say.
I don't know.
Yeah, the first one for me was okay.
Mm-hmm.
People love it, though.
Yeah.
But, yeah...
I'm actually, as far as comedy goes, I'm a little bit more excited for Horrible Bosses 2, because I actually really liked the first one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. In this case, yeah, I would go more for Horrible Bosses than for Dumber and Dumber. But though, The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually really excited for this movie.
I haven't seen the second movie yet, and as we've talked before, I haven't really read the books either. So
I haven't read the books.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, I thought it was an interesting thing to come up.
Yeah.
But it was just badly directed.
Yeah.
And
I wasn't a big fan of the first movie.
Yeah. But the second one, though, the whole production actually changed hands.
Okay.
And really every single part of the movie improved so much. It's actually, for me, it's actually one of my favorite movies of the year. And it's a really great sci-fi
Some
movie.
high praise.
Yes. I was floored by the end, how much I actually liked it. So I'm definitely excited for the third part.
Cool. And then, of course, in December, we get The Hobbit there and back again. Oh, yeah.
The final chapter.
Oh, yeah. Makes me sad. But
Well-
I'm also excited because it's going to be amazing. Because all the other movies were really good. Even to you, those people who don't think that they're that great and say, oh, there's all this exposition and so many unnecessary shots of the environment. And then I go and watch Blade Runner, which is one of my favorite movies and a highly regarded science fiction film. And there's like 30-second shots of a room.
Oh, yeah.
Just rewatch the old movies you like. Or Indiana
Oh.
Jones. Everybody loves Indiana Jones films. There's really long shots of just a map.
Yeah,
And a plane.
I will agree that.
Don't complain about exposition shots. They establish where you're going and where you are, okay? Shut the hell up. The Hobbit movies were awesome. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're looking for things to complain about. You're wrong.
I'm not really with him. Yeah, no, I have to disagree a bit with you there. The Hobbit movies have been just okay for me. I really have not really cared for them.
I'm disappointed in you.
Sorry. The Lord of the Rings was a good trilogy. I really love them. Mostly in technical and acting, I'm okay with. But The Hobbit, I thought it would have been a great trilogy also. But if the Lord of the Rings have not existed.
Why do you say that?
Because I feel like this could have been an actual pretty cool trilogy to put before the Lord of the Rings. I guess the feeling that Peter Jackson decided to give it to it, the more family friendly, the more stuff like that. I think it was just.
Well, it's a more the series, the book, The Hobbit is more kids oriented anyway.
Yeah, and so that's why.
And the story is lighter because Sauron isn't effing there yet. Really. I don't know. I just feel like a lot of the complaints against the trilogy are unjustified and don't really feel more like they're looking for things to complain about as opposed to actually just accepting that the movies are really good.
But as I said, I watched it. I enjoyed it but I just not really rushing in to see it again.
All right, I'm excited. I really liked all of them.
Well.
And then
I guess
that's about it for the year. There's a couple other movies that are coming out that aren't really announced when they're going to be in 2014. Those include things like Clerks 3,
Pinocchio, Tarzan 3D, Max Steel, The Woman in Black 2.
But we got to go to a break. So we'll be right back. We got a couple
of other things
we can talk about. I don't know. We'll figure out something to talk about, but we'll be back in a little while. Make sure to join us in the Twitch chat. Make sure to listen in on Spreaker or tune in or call in and let us know what movies you're excited about for this year at 1-855-303-GEEK. That's 1-855-303-4335. I'm Aggro.
And I'm Yoko.
And this is the Mouthwash. We will be right back. So, yeah. Yes.
KGSS.
It's a goal of a century to realize it's Jerry poetic, your next enemy. Mind screwing till you're scared of me. Most of these MCs wanna bury me. It's a nightmare like gel until I get the bail. You're gonna find your head in the cemetery. The harbinger of death carried thrice, not his image. The type of MC who will destroy your lines of scrimmage. You haven't heard the next Boricua spits a big pun, but my intent is take hip hop back when it wasn't dumb. But two kings ruled in order. What was number one to follow in the steps of greatest hip hop's newly born son. Image, a crazy rap habit with a 90 heavy coming in a trigger at it, screaming that I'm done and had it. I'm like a bomb, so go and get your hurt locker and notify the doctor I'm giving your wife the shocker. The number one chief rocker 303 I represent. The yes I can man hollering just like a president. I'm a monster, waiting for my victims in the dark. I'm a monster, playing with these females in their hearts. I'm a monster, better break this hope song gone. When I strike fear in their hearts with this new face song. Cause I'm a monster, waiting for my victims in the dark. I'm a monster, playing with these females in their hearts. I'm a monster, better
Aw, jeepers, I wish I could play video games more.
Well, Harry, does your internet suck?
Yeah?
Is your TV a hunk of scrap metal?
Yeah, because Daddy doesn't come home anymore.
Well, Billy, you should check out Clutch Gaming Arena.
What's that?
Why, Clutch Gaming Arena is Colorado's #1 mecca for esports and competitive gaming. With over 50 PCs, a massive gaming projector, and a swelligant sound system, you'll never want to leave.
I'll never go home again.
You won't have to, because of the delicious snack bar packed with tasty drinks and snacks.
Golly gee, mister.
That's right, Sally. Check them out on their Facebook page or at clutcharena.com.
My name is Jim.
Ha ha! That's right, Timmy. Check out Clutch Gaming Arena today.
Taking fire! Taking fire! Oh my god, this place is so clutch!
Clutch Gaming Arena, because going home is for quitters.
Street Society Radio.
Take it away, Optimus.
With the Allspark gone, we cannot return to life on our own planet. But fate has yielded its reward, a new world to call home. We live among its people, hiding in plain sight, or watching over them in secret, waiting, protecting. I have witnessed their capacity for courage, and though we are worlds apart, like us, there's more to them than meets the eye. I am Optimus Prime, and I send this message to any surviving Autobots taking refuge among the stars. We are here. We are waiting.
Should I roll out now, Optimus?
Yes. GSS.
KGSS.
Shut up.
Geek Street Society Radio. GeekStreetSociety.com.
Welcome back to
Hello.
a projection of your shattered psyche. This is the Mouthwash.
And here is Aggro.
Yep, that's me, Aggro.
And I'm Yoko.
That's true. All right, we've been talking about movies a lot because we're kind of doing a more sort of sci-fi and fantasy theme show. Because later today, the Otaku Realm is coming on.
Otaku Realm or
not the Otaku Realm, the fourth wall. Sorry,
the
fourth wall. Fourth wall.
It's Master
With
Control,
Ace,
actually.
Fee, and the Stash. Huh?
It's the Master Control.
Master Control.
Yes. Yes.
I'm doing terrible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Don't listen to him. He's just really out of it right now.
Apparently.
But yeah, it's gonna be
Fourth
the
Wall is
Master
the
Control.
comic show,
Mm-hmm.
which is on a different day.
Yes.
And then the Otaku Realm was yesterday, which has Sickness and Momo and Robo on it.
Exactly.
So
I mean,
I
you
just
even
got my
did
days mixed
a
up.
little segment for the Master Control.
I did.
For tonight, and you still got it confused. Come on.
I make mistakes.
Well, but yeah. Make sure to tune into the Master Control because there is going to be something special for the Twilight Zone.
Mm-hmm.
And especially
It's like
with-
a Twilight Zone themed episode.
Yeah.
So pretty exciting. I have a question for you though, Yoko.
What's up?
Talking about movies, you seem like a movie guy.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I hadn't really noticed it though.
Yeah. I have a question for you revolving around the fact, do you think that there are things that we just need to stop making movies about? Because I see something like Hercules or, Planet of the Apes or, the Resident Evil series. I think there's a time when you just need to drop something and let it go. I'm really tired of movies just either making remakes or sequels.
Mm-hmm.
And we can look at something like How to Train Your Dragon, which is making a sequel to itself, which is fine. But it's an interesting story in itself. The How to Train Your Dragon series is cool, and interesting. But then you have something like Hercules, where it's Hercules. You're just using the same character. Why not make your own universe? I don't know. I'm kind of tired of seeing some of these things show up over and over again.
For me, I have encountered this debate before plenty of times. And in many occasions, I do think exactly the same, that maybe some things should stop. Really, I won't say that things should stop, but mostly sometimes take a break and then come back with something else.
Mm-hmm.
Because, hey, if the zombie genre had not taken a break, we had not taken we had not gotten this resurgence of zombie films out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
With some really good zombie films like 28 Days Later
was really good.
Mm-hmm. And even as recently as Warm Bodies was actually a good turn.
I really was not a fan of Warm Bodies.
I really did like it. I enjoyed it.
It just seemed weird to me that we're trying to tell. It was like a chick flick. It was a chick flick.
Yeah,
it definitely was. It was a chick flick. It was a romance, and I find it odd that so many romances, like chick flicks, these days revolve around necrophilia. Well, let's have women be attracted to vampires, and he's 85 years old and you're 18, and this isn't awkward at all. Or let's have this movie where he's a zombie, so he's been dead for a couple of months, and he's a corpse, but oh, he has pretty blue eyes, and he's not letting the other zombies eat me, and he's gonna magically get cured by our love. It's dumb. I don't think that we should be teaching teenage girls to be attracted to necrophilia, to corpses.
All I gotta say is that never check my computer for my uncensored videos.
Okay.
I'm just warning you right now. But yeah, like there's things like the whole mockumentaries also.
Mm-hmm.
People saying they're getting sick and tired of mockumentaries. The thing is, out of nowhere, sometimes at least once a year, there's a really good format with a really good movie with using that format. Let's say like last year, there was this movie called Troll Hunter.
Yeah.
That movie used the mockumentary style really good.
Was it actually decent? I've seen it.
Yeah, it was good.
I haven't seen it. I've seen, the poster, and it's up on Netflix.
No, I really enjoyed it. It was really good, especially how it involved the whole creatures, the whole trolls things. It was an exciting movie to watch.
Okay, I might have to give it a shot then.
And also, again, going with the mockumentaries, Chronicle.
Okay.
Chronicle was also a good spin at that genre.
Was that a mockumentary as much as it was just a movie that catered to handheld camera shots?
I can't really
Chronicle
remember
was
the
a
genre.
superhero movie, right?
It's basically a superhero origins film.
Yeah. I wanted to see that. I haven't been able to get my hands on it quite yet.
Okay, again, I have to bring another movie then.
Okay.
Because that is a really good movie, and especially the whole the actors they got for him, they were really believable in their characters as teenagers and all that.
It's good.
And
movies definitely ride on their actors.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can drop it.
Especially something like that, because it has to be something that seems like normal people.
Mm-hmm.
And there's these movies. There was this also one. Have you seen Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon?
Oh, is that mockumentary about that horror serial killer? The guy who he is sort of a Jason type character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that. It was okay. I thought it was really okay. I thought it was really boring and really easy to predict. From somebody who watches a lot of horror films, none of it was really exciting. It was just okay. We're watching a movie that is from the perspective of a guy who wants to be Jason. All right, this is so interesting.
Yeah, because it takes part in a world where Jason, Freddy, and all these have actually exist, and apparently they're like the monsters that has to exist every certain years for people to just have fear in something. And so Leslie Vernon is the new guy who's trying to come up to the plate.
Yeah, and I don't know. I thought it was really boring. I also really didn't like Cabin in the Woods very much either. No, I really liked. Oh my god! The only part of that film I enjoyed was the awesome CGI scenes when they let all the monsters out. That was really cool. The rest of the film was just bad. I feel like my problem with it is very much the same problem that I had with Avatar, where it's like, here's the message of the film. We're not going to be subtle with it at all. We're parodying. We're making fun of horror movies, and we're stating how bad they are, just using the same tropes, and it's just forcing that message down your throat like it thinks you're stupid, as opposed to just writing the movie in such a way that you'll know that that's what it's about.
In a part, I actually will disagree with you.
I hated it. I didn't hate it. It was just not inspiring or cool to me.
The thing is that the way you're making it sound is that the script was written more like as a kind of saying that horror movies are kind of horrible, as it, well, being made badly and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's trying to point out its flaws and all that. But really, I didn't really see it that way. I actually think it was made by people who love the horror genre.
Well, I love the horror genre, but I still recognize its shortcomings.
Yeah, and
I think that, to me, that's what the movie was about, was saying, oh, we have, these same characters and these same sort of things, and it's all this sort of like corporate production bullcrap of, just rehashing the same crap, which was what the movie was about, but it didn't really separate it from that. It just pointed it out as opposed to actually making a statement about it or doing something new and different.
For me, that was the whole point of the film.
And the point was that it was going to be as bland as most other horror films.
The thing is that you see it as bland. I really did not see it as bland.
I don't know. It takes a lot to impress me with a movie, and Cabin in the Woods just fell short of what its goal was, and in a lot of the ways, that was because it made it so obvious what its goal was. If it had been more subtle about it, I might have liked it better. But it was just like, here's the message. Do you get the message yet? Do you understand it? You're seeing movies, so you must not be intelligent enough to actually, form an idea about what the movie's about or look through it deeper.
Okay, have you seen District 9?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
It was okay. It was also a movie with a very obvious message.
Okay, I kind of figured that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because then again, District 9, actually, that year was one of my favorite movies.
And like I said, it had good special effects. The message itself wasn't bad. It was just kind of crammed down your throat. I don't know. I feel like people think that they're a lot deeper than they are, as opposed to actually using symbolism. They just use a different thing in place of another thing. It's like saying, well, instead of having, African people, let's have them be aliens, as opposed to making a completely different scenario that when you actually objectively look upon it reflects that. Like, look at the story of King Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and there's this awesome scene in Inglourious Bastards where he describes the story of King Kong to him, and then they reveal that it's a metaphor for, slaves, black people, people from Africa being taken to the United States. That's a metaphor. That's a movie that uses symbolism. That's something that you can actually think about and portray a message without it being just an obvious thing that's thrown in your face. I get offended a little bit when a movie thinks that it has to be so obvious with me. I like a movie much like a book, I want a movie that requires inspection, that I can watch a few times, that can get something out of it. This is the same reason I don't like a majority of a lot of media, is the fact that it presumes that the only way I could understand it is if they make it easy for me to understand.
Yeah, I will say a lot of problem with films is that sometimes it just really lacks subtlety.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are many movies that are made the certain way because people just need to actually see it that way, as archetypes, not as characters. Stuff like that.
Disagree. I mean, I know you can make money on a movie that way. I know that you can get average people to like the movie that way. I don't like those movies, though, because I don't feel like I'm of average intelligence.
Well, I really don't think also either. Sorry. I'm really working on my English right now.
No, that's okay. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just saying these are the reasons I don't like the movie. I think that movies, a lot of the time, require more subtlety. I can think of a movie like Blade Runner. Blade Runner is a movie that's about some complex issues. You have these androids who want to be human, and they only get to live for 4 years, and they're desperately trying to cling to life. You know, those are some complex issues, you know, that you can relate to real life scenarios, like maybe people with, you know, fatal diseases, or the way we kind of look down on different people. You know, we manufactured the androids, but they're practically human, but we still look down at them because we have control over them. You can there's complex issues there that can relate to things in real life, you know. That is a commentary on social practices. But the movie doesn't say that. The movie doesn't just take another situation in which it's already happening and replace the characters. It creates its own world that reflects ours. You know, it's set in the future. It uses androids as a method. It uses the actual characters as a method. It's not just saying, okay, we're going to do the same. Like, look at something like Elysium, which is just saying, oh, we're going to make a movie about Mexico, but we're going to make it in the future with robots and have the white man save everybody. Because in an ethnically diverse movie, we're going to have Matt Damon be the hero. You know, just like in Avatar, you know, oh, all these alien Native Americans are in trouble. You know who can save them? The white man. So it's not. I usually get offended by movies whose messages are so blatantly obvious. I feel like the director thinks I'm stupid.
In many movies, in many occasions, yeah, I will totally agree on that. Subtlety definitely is the best tool a director should have, and a writer especially.
Yeah.
But then again, there are as I've seen many movies. There are movies where they just tell you exactly what they are, not who they're made for, but like not using subtlety. They just put it out there, but they can still retain exactly their message without really beating you over the head and not irritating you. But
it's possible. I feel like movies like District 9 or Avatar or Cabin in the Woods are not movies that did that well. That were hailed as being movies that did that well, but when I observed, seemed to just be obvious documentaries on something, you know, a really obvious message.
Avatar, I will say, it was basically just a copy and paste
with Fern
story.
Gully.
It was a copy.
Last
and paste
of the
story.
Dances with Fern Gullies.
Like,
in space.
Then again, I will have to actually go through my movie collection, and then I will come up with a couple of things.
Okay.
And I will show you how sometimes how some directors can use can use the fact of not being subtle to prove that they could still make some good commentary.
Well, I definitely believe that, but that comes to different forms of media.
Oh, yeah.
When I think about something like that, I think about something like South Park, where South Park will make really obvious references and mix it with crude, humor. That's what South Park does. It says, let's talk about something, but then also throw fart and poop jokes in it. So nobody thinks that we're being serious, but then if you really look at it, it has a message there. You know, you can think about the episode with the Sentai pad where they're talking about, you know, how nobody pays attention to the agreements. You know, we just sign these random documents, you know, and they give us these piles of text, and you just click that you read it all and move on, you know, and people have these corporations have control over how they can distribute our information and what kind of things we're allowed to see, and they control our search engines and what kind of information is available to us. And then South Park makes it about, you know, being sewn together mouth to ass and being force-fed curry, you know, but at the same time that message is still there, and it's obviously there, but they do it in a way that I don't feel like it's being force-fed. But we're at the end of the segment.
Yeah,
we're at the end of the Sentai pad.
Remember to follow us on twitch.tv, also on Spreaker, on TuneIn. Look for Geek Streak Society Radio.
I'm letting them practice.
And remember, our lines are always open for whenever you want to call us in. It's at 1-855-303-GEEK or 1-855-303-4335. And remember to always keep the conversation going, even when we're not on the air.
Yep, we're in the chat right now. I know Wingman's been chatting with you guys. I've been a little busy, talking with Yoko here. But I'll join in
I'm
during the
here
break.
practicing
But
how.
we're going to the break.
Yeah.
So this is Aggro.
Well, we're going to the end of the show. Yeah, the end of the show.
Jesus. Okay. Well, this is the end of the show. I'm Aggro.
And I'm Yoko.
I want to thank Yoko for joining us and helping us out with some movie stuff. Talking about the Golden Globes, because I definitely didn't know anything about that. Or the Oscars. I don't keep up with a lot of movies just because I'm busy all the time.
I have to use my knowledge on something.
Which is good. You definitely have the knowledge there, and you made me interested in some more movies. But we're at the end of the show.
Yeah, let's go.
Join us again tomorrow at 7:30 here on the MouthWash.
From 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Yeah, and tune in later today for the Master Control, which is another show about sci-fi and movies.
With a
and
special
it's a whole thing about
with a special appearance of.
I'll be there somehow. Look out for it. In addition to that, it's a whole episode about the Twilight Zone, so you should just tune in for that reason. But yeah,
all right.
Thanks for joining us. This is the Mouthwash. Your mouth is officially clean, so you can swish and spit. Go have a great day, geeks, and we'll see you tomorrow.
And yes, yes, yes.
KGSS.
Ciao.
Tiger. They said put down the controller, pick yourself up, brush the dust off your shoulder. You haven't done anything for the last 2 days, dog.